Not so fast. Folks, your Buffalo Sabres are back. Folks, your Buffalo Sabres have won 3 straight games. And folks, your Buffalo Sabres are going to end the drought.
Oh my God, wow.
Welcome back to Gatesy's Win More, Lots More, presented by Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel, and the Buffalo Sabres beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yes, the Tampa Bay Lightning 6-2. The Buffalo Sabres are only 4 points out of first place in the Atlantic. We're going to talk about the numbers and everything else kind of going on outside of the Sabres and how this playoff picture looks, the percentage and all that in the forecast at the end of this episode. So stay tuned for that if you want some more number stuff. But we have to talk about this one. What this means for the team right now moving forward is everything. Before this post-Olympic stretch started, in our pregame show before the Devils game, all I wanted was in this, 3-game stretch on this road trip to start the post-Olympic run. If they could go 500, I would have been happy. 2 out of 3 ecstatic. 3 out of 3 wasn't even on the table. I genuinely did not think that was even a possibility for the Buffalo Sabres to win these 3 games, and they did it. They did it. And tonight was an anomaly where they scored 6 goals. They pulled Andrei Vasilevskiy. The Sabres are plus 200 in the betting market, if you care about that, but it shows where people thought, even with the Sabres winning 2 in a row, they weren't going to win their 3rd in Tampa. They won in the most convincing manner you could really have. A 6-2 win. We're going to talk about these goals, the excitingness, and celebrate it, because we don't see that often from the Sabres team. They're winning in different ways, but I want to focus on first, before we have the fun with the goals, have a great time, I had a lot of smiles, I want to talk about the biggest thing that's giving me hope. It's not even hope. I can't call it hope anymore. It's not. What's giving me, I can't even think of the word, because I'm in such uncharted territory with this Sabres team of just, I have the knowledge, that's the good word, for what this team is, and who they are, and the style of hockey they play, and the reason they gave me confidence basically every single night now is because they care about their D zone. They have, some love there. They have some care. Their goaltending has been phenomenal. I cannot put into words how good their goaltending's been, in this recent run since, mid-December, but especially in this post-Olympic break. You look at these 3 games, 1 goal against the New Jersey Devils, 2 goals against the Florida Panthers, and 2 goals tonight against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen back in net, stops 36 of 38. He was great again. He just feels so much more calm in net. After that injury in the Toronto game, he's back. I didn't know if he was going to get the keys to kind of run with things. He has them. He looks great. He looks confident. And then you back that up with Alex Lyon every other time. That's awesome. The Sabres have goaltending. We just wanted average goaltending. They've gotten way above that. UPL in his last 12 starts, going back to December 21st, is 9-2-1. He has a .923 save percentage, 238 goals against average. That's pretty damn good. In 10 games with over a 900 save percentage in that 12-game stretch as well. He is such a big part of this team. And now, the reason they won because they scored 4 goals in the first period and were able to, play decent hockey after that. That's going to win them games every time if they can do that. That's not going to happen, though. They're going to need to be able to rely on their goaltending, on their defense, on, playing a full game. Having UPL allows them to do that, because we've seen Sabres teams in the year past score goals, put up, 6 goals, win games 6-5, 6-4, whatever they have to do, and they got the win. That wasn't sustainable. What they have right now is, because they have the D. They have arguably one of the best D cores in the league. If you just look from a total numbers perspective of a 6-man unit, very good. They have their concerns, of course. They're not a perfect team by any stretch of the imagination, but they're doing things right now. It's giving me just confidence going forward that this isn't just going to be a team that's going to, end the drought in That was fun. That's a good story. You're going to get swept in the first round. Great. You might win one game. That's awesome. I seriously believe this Buffalo Sabres team right now, if things stay the same, winning a playoff series very easily on the table. More than that, who knows? My thoughts are thinking bigger things that I can't voice those. It's dangerous to have to think those thoughts, let alone voice them. So I'm going to keep them in just for a little bit longer. But the Sabres team just continues to push the goalposts farther and farther back. This 3 games, getting those wins, I feel like I'm dreaming. This isn't real. From where this series, not to get a little introspective, but where this series started, just, at the start of the year, a few months ago, to where we are now, it feels like a totally different life. Crazy. So let's talk about these goals. How did the Sabres get success? How did they get 6 goals? They worked. They competed right out the gate. They got 3 of these goals in a 3-minute stretch. Goose, welcome back. The Sabres have won, and we're back in the studio too with Goose here as well. But you look, Rasmus Dahlin got the Sabres on the board first. Basically 5 minutes into the first period, where it starts transition the neutral zone. A lot of the Sabres goals really came from every different facet you could score a goal. I've been loving the Sabres scoring, and you hear me talk about it basically every post game. If the Sabres can score from a transition or just from a breakout, in their own zone. Owen Power creates a turnover in the neutral zone, feeds Rasmus Dahlin, who has time to cut across the Royal Road, and tough loss for Chatham tonight in the semifinals against Geneseo, across that Royal Road, and he's able to do that because of the great net drive from Jason Zucker, and then a long shot from Dahlin. A lot of these shots are long. They're not going to go in all the time. That's why, the 6 goals is fun. It's great. I'm having a great time. It's not sustainable. You're not going to be able to score, 4 of these goals from outside of the top of the circles, basically. It's an anomaly, but having that net drive from Zucker allows Rasmus Dahlin to get his goal. Now, just 2 minutes later, or a minute later, Josh Norris gets his first goal after returning back from injury. So happy for Josh Norris. We look at the Sabres run, these 2 games after the Olympic break, they've been star heavy in their scoring. They've needed the secondary guys to really come out outside of Alex Tuch, Tage Thompson, players in that nature. They got Josh Norris. He gets his goal. It starts in the Sabres D zone. UPL stops the puck behind the goal. Breakout pass. You have Krebs and Metsa joining the rush. This is what makes the Sabres D course so good. Why I talked them up just a few minutes ago, because they can join the rush so fluid. They basically have 6 forwards out there who can join a rush that can be a part of the game. That is such a huge advantage for the Sabres, that if the puck's in their D zone, literally 5 seconds later, they're scoring at the other end of the ice. Not too many teams can say that, but the Buffalo Sabres can. We have Krebs and Metsa joining the rush. A beautiful drop pass give and go with Josh Stone, who feeds Josh Norris. And the reason Josh Norris can score this goal too is Krebs and Metsa, when he drops this off, doesn't just stop skating like, oh, my job is done. I'm packing it up. My night is done here. He keeps skating all the way to the net, drives the Lightning defense back in. Josh Norris, little fake shot. All of a sudden, Sabres up 2-0, feeling good. A minute later, Josh Norris gets another one. Bang, bang, bang. The Sabres go up 3-0 early in Tampa Bay. Josh Norris gets his second run. Hattie watch. And this is, a different animal too. The Sabres are scoring in different ways. This one, some sustained zone pressure. Zach Benson back for the Sabres as well. He was back in. Love having Zach Benson on this team. It makes him so much deeper. It's a great thing. Because now, you got Peyton Krebs playing with Tage. We're going to talk about that. It's awesome. Now you have Zach Benson with Norris. Love that. This team just feels like they keep getting deeper. Everything I was telling myself over the Olympic break of the Sabres kind of sucked going to this. Is this going to be what the final 25 is? I didn't believe it because they were getting guys back healthy. You saw that in spades tonight. Josh Norris getting 2. Benson finding himself back in the mix. They're still going to get Connor Timmins back. Hopefully at some point you'll have Danforth there. Greenway at some point. This Sabres team is going to continue to get better. But this goal also happens. Josh Norris tips it. Great tip from Norris. So you get your tip. You get the shot. You get, zone time. The Sabres are scoring in different ways. And then Tage Thompson closes out the period where the Sabres score in yet another manner. Dump the puck in. You create a turnover from Rasmus Dahlin coming down. Peyton Krebs working so hard. Helps him with that turnover. Feeds Tage Thompson, who's able to have time to get to the net, to make a move because Alex Tuch is backdoor in a spot that forces the Lightning defender to pick a guy. Do I go after Tage Thompson and leave a wide open backdoor guy, or just hope to God Andrei Vasilevsky can do something here, which he can't? And Tage Thompson scores a goal very similar to what we saw in the Olympics in that power play where they let him just kind of do his thing from the goal line, like a couple feet up, figure something out, and he's scoring that way. So that's a good thing for Tage Thompson to have in his bag of tricks, where he can score from plays like that, because he really does get them pretty frequently. But the Sabres end the first period up 4-0. The vibes feel incredible. And before we talk about the second, the Peyton Krebs. Hand up, I was a bit of a hater on having Krebs up there because it didn't feel sustained enough to have him there where, the Sabres were having success with Benson there, whatever. And Krebs, I just had that one game stuck in my mind where he I think it was the last Tampa Bay game maybe, where he didn't have his guy toward the end, the overtime fiasco. I think that was Tampa Bay. And it just stuck with me. Like, I think that was it for Peyton Krebs. I clouded my memory, clouded my judgment, and now he just feels like such a mainstay on this first line because he can work. He can be that Josh Doan we saw up there on the first line of just working hard, feeding your bigger guns, your Tage Thompsons, your Alex Tuchs. And it's working right now for the Sabres. So I love having Peyton Krebs there. It does make things just more concerning for the offseason, what lies ahead, because the better Peyton Krebs does here, the less chance you have of Alex Tuch re-signing in Buffalo. I mean, Krebs' contract's up. He's still got to sign Benson. Kesselring's up. I mean, he's had an interesting tenure so far. This 22-game stretch from here on out really is, okay, are we going to pay Peyton Krebs now? It felt like he was just going to be a guy walking just a month ago because you didn't have the money to keep him around, but that's an issue for another day. We're going to enjoy this right here because the good vibes. We're done with 4-0. Zach Metsa gets the Sabres up 5-0, where he is such an under-the-radar player for the Sabres. I need to pull up his full stats for the season now that I'm thinking about it, but he joins the play where there's just a dumb backhanded pizza up the middle for Tampa Bay. He jumps in. And just the confidence of this guy to, have his first NHL game just this season, to be able to, I'm going to read my notes verbatim here because I don't like to look at them throughout, but I feel like it's only warranted. Zach Metsa interception, and I quote, "Ew, toe drag release from him." When he's been on the Sabres for this first couple months, I thought he was just a stopgap for this decor. Like, he's there, but he's been a winner everywhere he's been. He did it at Quinnipiac. He's been helping Rochester out. He's the captain there. He is such an undervalued part of, I think, the Sabres team. I certainly cast him off as basically a throwaway guy. He's joined the rush. He got 2 points tonight. He is a big part of the Sabres team somehow. He just does what he has to. Joining this play here, creating the turnover and doing it all himself with that shot. Great. This is his second goal of the year. Remember his first one where he basically, had another great skill play. He's a great part of this team, so very happy for him. Tampa, ends the fun, making it 5-1. Dominic Jones gets one where he beats, Matthias Samuelsson back to the net. Whatever. 5-1. Again, I think we all kind of have this with the Sabres where it doesn't matter what the score is. They give one, like, there's a little thought here that can't be good for this team. And that really got worse because Tampa Bay made it 5-2 when you got a power play for Tampa Bay. Puck gets thrown to the net. Beck Malenstein's tied up with the player, and it goes in. Initial thought was like, okay, the Sabres are down 5-2. That's 3 goals. They can't blow that. Then the replay comes, and it's like, okay, he gets dragged down. His foot comes up. He kicks it in. I don't know what they're going to do. Is it initially called a goal? Are they going to call it back from there? Because he was kind of falling. It wasn't like he wound up like Messi for this. But then they showed the overhead angle. And the overhead angle, I think, killed any possibility of this, being ruled not a kick. Because overhead, you can't really tell he's falling. It's just a straight up from his leg. And the NHL replay, the booth agreed. They called it back for the second straight night in Florida. The Sabres got a call they desperately needed from the review center. You saw the Tampa Bay, the goalie interference call, waved off from Matthias Samuelsson, sticking the glove. And I saw a lot of people, kind of disagreeing with my thoughts on it last night. And I think it's fair. I am just definitely a little biased toward the goaltender on that. It's not like I'm putting my fist down like this is rigged for the Sabres. I think they just benefited from it. Tonight, I agree, genuinely, that should not be a goal. So, but the Sabres got it. I feel like in previous iterations of this team, they never would get a call like that, but they got it. They kind of eased the concern levels rising up in me just a little bit. They were able to do that. And yeah, so they kept it 5-1. Goal got called back. And then Alex Tuch, in back-to-back games, gets a power play goal in a very similar manner, too, where he's just getting the puck in, the high slot and just shooting it through. Somehow he's scoring. Again, I don't know if these are always going to be there, but when you have net front presence, the Sabres are being patient, too, on this power play, which I appreciate. We saw it work with Ryan McLeod hanging onto the puck. Last game, this time it worked with Jack Quinn, Rasmus Dahlin hanging onto it just enough, allows Alex Tuch to get that shot through. And then the Sabres can cruise from there. It's 6-1. Hedman with a laser makes it 6-2. And the vibes were just so great in this game. And I want to give a huge shout out to all of the Sabres fans in Tampa Bay, because you guys were loud on the broadcast. We had the clip go up on CSP where after that 6th goal, we can hear Sabres fans in Tampa Bay, the first place team in the Atlantic Division, Tampa Bay Lightning. We heard the Sabres fans chanting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want 7. I know very audibly on the broadcast, so kudos to Sabres fans for being there, sticking it out, and really taking over that building, because it was so noticeable. And I cannot wait for the Sabres fans on Tuesday. That atmosphere in this first Sabres home game in forever, after this Olympic break where the Sabres have won 3 straight games out of it, is going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be a great thing for Buffalo, where if you can get it. Oh, here, I'm getting word. It's time for the forecast. So as you can see here, the Sabres actually have an 89.5% chance to make the postseason right now on Money Puck. And the odds to go even further than that look pretty good. This Sabres team has been great so far, and just the ability to continue to build their point percentage. They're tracking right now to be over 100 points on the season, and their Stanley Cup odds, they're probably higher than their playoff odds were at this point last season. It's great. So they got this 3-game win streak. They go back to Buffalo on Tuesday with a big gold medal ceremony against Vegas. And the Sabres have a huge chance to, if they win that game, the internal governor is off on what this team can be. So yeah, it's going to be a great stretch ahead for the Sabres, hopefully. I feel very good about this team. And the reason I do is because for them not to make the postseason and to even come short of these lofty goals they have isn't going to be just from them playing normal or coming back down to earth. It would have to be some catastrophic, their whole team is just out of the lineup type of deal. We're seeing guys step into roles if things go south. Right now you have Noah Ostlund, stepping in where he's not scoring as much as when he first came, but he's carving out a role, creating chaos. Rasmus Dahlin gets slashed, brought down. He drops, he doesn't even drop his gloves. He steps in for him, though. We saw him try his damnedest. And I give him props. How long ago was the Milan Lucic hit on Ryan Miller where nothing happened, where your star goaltender gets absolutely wiped off the face of the earth? Probably 14 years ago. Well, the Milan Lucic curse is, I would say, broken. Even though it wasn't, the prettiest or sexiest thing from Ostlund, he got hit pretty hard. He still stuck up for his teammates, for his captain. We're seeing guys who are not fighters, are not guys, in that quote-unquote role, doing what they have to, sticking up for each other. That means so much to me. That's going to carry this team farther, where we've seen it all year. if they get punched in the mouth, either physically or metaphorically, they take it and throw them back. This one, Austin didn't throw any back, but we've seen the Sabres team. If they give up an early goal, they're fine. If they lose a game, they're fine. If they lose 2, they're going to be fine. They're basically out of it by December. You can fire a GM, they're going to be fine. This team has something about them that is very exciting. I know the comparisons to 05-06 are there, and I love them, and I'm going to continue pushing it because it's great. It's been so long since we can have fun with this Sabres team, with any Sabres team at this point, so let's enjoy it. Let's wrap this up, and I'm so excited for Tuesday, and I will see you all at that point. If you're still watching, thank you. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this team right now, on this run they've been on, and what you think this future holds for them, your forecast at home. And I just can't believe we're here. I can't believe it, folks. But yeah, that's been Gatesy's Win More, Lots More, presented by Batavia Downs Gaming Hotel. And I'll see you all on Tuesday. Let's go Sabres.